You're listening to the You Get to Decide podcast with your host, Allison Cretchola Gallagher, and this is episode 94. Welcome to the You Get to Decide podcast. This podcast is for the driven woman who's ready to stop spinning her wheels and start creating unstoppable momentum towards the life she truly wants. A life she decides on purpose with unlimited potential. I am your host and life coach, Allison Gallagher. Each week, you'll learn how to manage your mind so it finally works for you instead of against you, creating more clarity, calm, confidence, inspired action, and a whole lot of ease. This is where you learn to finally come home to yourself and live as the woman you've always meant to be. And when women choose themselves, they don't just rise, the whole world rises with them. Let's go. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the You Get to Decide podcast. I am Allison Gallagher, your coach. Allison Cretchola Gallagher, Allison Gallagher, whatever. Some days it's one, some days it's the other. But this is the last of the 10-week series, though I think it's been 12 weeks overall because I kind of interrupted with other things. But this is overall the last one that I'm going to wrap up with. And this is about the identity of struggle, which I think a lot of us have, and we don't even realize it. One of the hardest identities for me to shed was the identity of struggle. And I didn't realize I had it for a really long time. I just thought things were hard. Okay. I didn't know I was rejecting easy. And I don't want you to reject easy or ease. Okay. So I want to make you aware. If you aren't sure, I want to help you become aware if these things resonate with you. Okay. Or if you know that that's happening, let's zero in on what to work on. Okay. So this helps everyone. And I came up with 10 things, right? For hard seasons, 10 for 10. This is the last one. And it is overall, if you think it has to be hard, or if you think you're struggling, or if you're sick of struggling, this is what is happening and this is what to focus on. Okay. I hope that this is very enlightening. So the first one is struggle is not required. Okay. Our brain is going to show us what we believe, right? I've talked about this so much. I actually went into this, I think, in the last episode about comparing it to social media and like your news feed, right? Your brain's going to filter what it thinks is important to you. So if you think it has to be hard, it's not going to show you where it's easy. This is like, I've lived this. You literally aren't going to see it until you show your brain, I want to see where things can be easier. How can this be easy? And over time, if you are actually wanting to see it differently, your brain will start to show you. Okay, I would discount anything that was easy because I always liked to take the hard road because it felt more valuable. Okay, if you think it has to be hard in order to be more valuable, ding, 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 ding. That's a belief. Doesn't serve you. Okay, whether it's weight loss, whether it's making money, okay, whether it's building the business, writing the book, finding the perfect person in your life, or whatever else you're trying to undo, redo, gain, whatever. Okay, it actually can be easy. We have to teach our nervous system that easy is safe, right? My nervous system did not value ease. It valued struggle. And for me, it valued struggle because if it was easy, I'd get bored. Like I was built on struggle. That fire in me was built on struggle, right? I created an identity around the version of me that struggles. Like she was what got me a lot of the things in my life. And so there was a part of me that was like, she's why I'm thriving. Okay. And I think a lot of us might have that belief and not know it. And that's a freaking big one. All right. So look at these and see if your brain is only showing you where it's hard. Now, yeah, life is hard, right? But we also make it harder. We make it so much harder. Like for me, it was like almost like an ego thing too. Like I will always take the hard road. because I want to make it as hard on myself as possible to create toughness in myself. Well, that didn't serve me either. Okay. It just sometimes made me so fucking exhausted. And it deepened the belief that it has to be hard. It deepened the belief that struggle is how I thrive. And I don't roll that way today. I welcome ease. I welcome the easy path. I welcome seeing the easy path, believing there is one. I make a game out of it. Okay. So, but I also want to offer, this comes out on Wednesdays. Tomorrow, I do a live teaching on Thursdays. Okay. I'm going to take this work deeper. So what I'm going to teach on tomorrow, Thursday, okay, the day after, and I'm trying to work out the teachings that I'm creating and create a plan long term so that you guys know, so you can plan ahead. But they're every Thursday at noon. The link is in the show notes. You register one time and you can pop in to listen or get coached live. Okay, but this one is going to be 5 ways you might be choosing struggle without realizing it. And I take it a little deeper. Okay, those are not recorded. Okay, for like, you can't sign up and get the recording. Not right now. Okay. But that's what I'm teaching on. Okay, so if this resonates with you, pop in Thursday to the live teaching and the link is in the show notes. I actually have created a portal on my website of all of my teachings. There's about 21 teachings in there that I'm going to create a portal for that you can purchase and have lifetime access for that. So if you're interested, you can email me for that information or stay tuned. So let's go to number 1. It's not required for success. It's learned. Okay. So because it's learned, it doesn't make it true. So breaking down what you believe your brain is going to show you. Number 1 is that struggle actually isn't required. Hard might be required, but that doesn't mean we have to struggle. Okay. They're not the same. They're not the same. It's what if something is hard and we are making it harder, that means we have this a belief that we have to make it harder than it has to be. And then we're going to work twice as hard, triple as hard. Okay. We're going to work from burnout and all these other energies that I don't want you to work from. Okay. I want you to work from ease, abundance, joy, excitement, fun. Okay. And it's a choice. It is a choice on how the energy we show up in, because we have control over our thoughts and feelings. Okay. So your brain trusts what's familiar, not what's effective. I want you to remember that. Okay. If you lived in pressure and pushing, ease will feel foreign. Okay, when I started to really think about ease and create this new belief that ease is my electricity, like I can expand my value. I wish I had my my affirmations that I would say, trying to teach a new identity for myself around ease. But it was something along the lines of I'm more magnetic and more electric in ease. Okay, so actually I make bigger impact from ease. And that resonated with me because the fire in me is what I love about myself. And I thought I needed to struggle in order to have that fire. I taught my nervous system that I actually have more fire in ease. And I believe that today. Okay, I have a tendency at times to see things and try to make things harder. But then I start to question myself, wait a minute, why am I choosing that path versus that path? Okay. And what is the motivation here for which path I'm choosing, right? I just like to choose the easier path, to prove to myself that I can live in ease. Because here's the thing, even in ease, life is hard. Okay. So it's never actually going to be boring and easy. And that's what I taught my nervous system. Like, I'm never going to get bored because life is life's, right? And I had this identity that I'd get bored if I didn't actually struggle, because I was creating struggle. I'd lose weight, gain weight, lose weight, gain weight, lose weight, gain weight. I'd show up in my business and hide, show up in my business and hide, to create struggle, to create something to fight for. And it serves you until it doesn't serve you anymore. Like, that shit served me for a long time, and then it didn't. I just saw it as a clear pattern and I disrupted it. Okay? Going in the body. So, if you are constantly feeling like you're under pressure, like you have to feel pressure to perform, right? If you wait to the last minute and then to try to create pressure to perform, I do better under pressure. That's a form of struggle. That's a form of making it hard. Okay? We don't trust things to feel simple. I want you to think about this in your life. We delay. We question or second guess. We don't trust it. Or we then make them bigger and more complicated. Right? People do this with selling. Simple. You keep your offers simple. But people think in order for it to have value, it needs to be complicated. And the opposite is true. The simpler it is, the more value it has because it lands faster. Right? But we think we have to complicate things to create more value. So if you're doing that, ding, 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 that's making it hard. That's making it that's a form of struggle. Anytime we think we have to complicate it, like we don't trust easy. Okay? So we have to create pressure before we take action. I wrote that down. Kind of went over that. This has to work energy. Okay? So it slows us down. Okay, so if we're coming from pressure, if we have to create pressure to perform, that's making it hard, right? We can calm our body, come from ease and alignment in what we do. We equate hard with valuable. This is what I did. I created hard with valuable. I felt more worthy the harder I worked. I felt more worthy the harder it was. So I would make it harder. Okay? And we discount when it's easy. Like, I hear some of my wins in my coaching containers. Wins happen, but because they didn't work really hard for it, they discount it as a win. No. That's proof that wins can come easy. We discount those wins. No. Look around where the wins came easy. Just a random phone call or a shift or just something that fell in your lap, right? We don't trust it. We second guess it, right? Go back to the other ones. Instead, that's proof. Okay? If it didn't drain you, you don't think it counts. Like, that's what I wrote down. And that's not true. So be leery if that's what's happening. Write down the opposite of these beliefs and start to look at them and show yourself evidence of these. Okay? You overcomplicate what could be simple. One step will turn into 10. Or then you don't move, right? We overcomplicate. I made so many things harder than they had to be. Or I would take on too much. I would take on too much because I thought I had to work at the level of absolute drainage of my body and brain in order to feel worthy of receiving. Right? And so if we don't feel worthy of receiving through ease, we're going to reject ease. We're not even going to see it, or we're going to be like, no, that's too good to be true. We're going to find ways to create hardness in our life. Sabotage results, right? If it starts to feel easy, if things start to come easy, we will sabotage them. And I feel like that's lower on the list. But where can I make this simpler? I would say, I'd pray to the universe, show me how I'm making this hard. Show me how this can be easier. Okay? And then listen to the answer that's going to come. Or I would tell my brain, I want to see how this is easier. Show me all the evidence. You can talk to the universe or you can talk to your brain. But say it out loud, write it, that I want to see how this can be easier. Fitting everything into my calendar, right? We all overschedule. We're all running here, there, and everywhere. But what if it could be easier? Right? Especially not asking for help. That is a form of making it hard. Not asking for help. Right? And if we're not willing to receive support, that is a form of struggle. Making it hard. Okay? And I would say, I want to see how I can make all this on my calendar easier. Show me where there's creativity that I'm not seeing. I guarantee in every aspect of every person's life on this planet, there's a way to make it easier. And they're not seeing it, including me. I guarantee it. Guarantee it. I believe it. Okay. And so I get curious. How can I make this easier? And so when things start working, it feels foreign. Because when things start working, because a lot of the beliefs that my coaching clients come to me with is it's not working. Something's wrong with me. I'm missing something. I'm behind. It's self-trust. This is why my clients come to me. They don't trust themselves. Okay. When it starts to work, it feels so foreign because they're used to not trusting themselves. Not trusting yourself is a form of making it hard. Okay. So it starts to feel easy, like, oh, this is like, wow, it's actually working. I'm seeing evidence. And they're like, the other shoe's going to drop. Right. And then they turn and change it. Let's raise our price. Let's change the offer. Let's go out to eat and have a 5-course meal. I lost 5 pounds. Or a drink or whatever, right? Sabotage the progress. Okay? Because it's like it's working and we reject it. We have to earn rest. This is a big one. You think you have to collapse in order to earn rest. This is a form of struggle. You do not have to earn rest. I've done multiple episodes. Go back. I've done multiple episodes about rest. You get to rest just because you get to rest. You don't have to earn it. You don't have to work a certain amount of hours or check off a certain amount of things in order to have rest. That's a form of making it hard on yourself. Right? Just like with support. We push, we prove, we exhaust ourselves before we let ourselves breathe or feel worthy of resting. And I don't want you to do that, okay? Because you're busy and you have big goals. So I'm going to shift now to this is a practice pattern, okay? This isn't a personality. This isn't permanence. It's a repeatable pattern, okay? We've repeated it so many times that it feels like it's who we are. It's what we attract, okay? But it's just what our brain is showing us and what we think helps us thrive, right? We think we work until we collapse. That's how we thrive. Instead, you could schedule in rest, okay? And rearrange your schedule, ask for help, or not everything gets done. You rest, things are waited on, okay? And that could create ease. And instead, we feel pressure and, self-inflicted pressure, societal pressure, all of the types of pressure to overperform. Okay? But these are practice patterns, especially if we grow up with parents that did this, Or if we grew up in very difficult situations, okay, we believe it always has to be hard. We don't trust ease because of what we were raised with. Okay? And it's just what you've practiced. You can undo it. Create the opposite statements for anything that has come up in this podcast that you believe you do. Create the opposite statement for yourself. Hold your hand to your chest and say it, right? Say, I deserve to rest. And if you feel tightness in your chest, your body is rejecting that statement. If you say to yourself, I can thrive in easy. I can thrive when it's easy. It gets to be simple. I can find simple here. And if your body is feeling restriction in your chest, if you feel it in your arms, if you feel any type of restriction in your body, in your gut, anywhere, your body might be rejecting that statement. That's your nervous system. That's an identity. That identity needs to feel safe to let go of control. That's what has to happen. Okay? You need to show that identity that you can step forward and lead her or him. And that ease gets to be a part of life. Gets to be how shit gets done. So, the last thing I want to say is that ease is a skill that you can master. Okay? And so much of it is letting go of control. Control is what will create struggle. We're not in flow. We're not in ease. We're not in abundance. We're not in alignment. We are gripping control. And I just put something in my stories that people reacted to on Facebook, on Instagram. I'm very active on Instagram. So if you want more of me, come to my Your Coach Allison Gallagher on Instagram. I'm super active there, more than anywhere. But one of the things that I posted was, and I forget where I read it, but you're so scared to surrender because you don't want to let go of control. But you never actually had control. You had anxiety. That's what happens. Okay? Things can feel easy. In fact, easy is how is actually the flow of what I did this with my body and my all of my journey with food and weight loss and all these things. Like, I had so much fear, control. I had to make it really hard. I had to eat 1,100 calories a day. I had to eat fish twice a day. I had to kill myself in the gym. I had to suffer. I had to restrict and punish myself. Instead, guess what actually creates long-term weight loss? Eating way more calories. Enjoying flexibility into all foods. Dropping into my body. Am I hungry? If I'm not physically hungry, I'm emotionally hungry. So what do I actually need? Okay, in flow with my body. Working out, right? A workout routine. Some people might think that that's really hard. Well, okay, it is, but it's also amazing. Okay, it's not suffering. We get so many effects, positive effects that come from our workouts. Okay, and it happens quickly when you create a routine. Okay, and I actually lift for like 25 minutes a day and I walk. I don't do HIIT training. I don't do CrossFit. I don't do all this like crazy. I walk 10, 12,000 steps a day. Okay. And I try to make that easy. Okay. And so the weight loss, instead of the rigidity I had and suffered, which gave me very short-term results because I would end up binging. Okay. Easy was more food, more flexibility, listening to my body, which is just relaxing and trusting. Am I hungry? Is my stomach growling? I was using the hunger scale. If you don't know what the hunger scale is, Google that. But ease is what got me there. Ease, letting go, listening to my body, eating more, trusting. And that goes with every other goal. We have to let go of this rigidity, this control. So much of that came from struggle. I thought it had to be hard. And it doesn't. It really doesn't. So, and then we get to where we want to go faster when we let go. Because when we actually let go, we see opportunities we didn't see before. Right? But when we're gripping, we think it has to be a certain way. We're missing opportunities that might be over here to the left. We're looking to the right. So ease is a skill. I would practice ease in my body. Thinking things get to be easy and holding that feeling in my body to show my body it's safe to feel ease. Because your body's rejecting the feeling of ease. It only wants, and if that's happening for you, it only wants the feeling of struggle. And so it's rejecting the feeling of ease. Hold the feeling. Okay? Sit in the feeling of ease, and then if an idea comes to you, take action on it. That's identity, so much of identity work. And I go deeper in my coaching containers on any type of identity that we have. And we have bazillions. Okay, but that's when my clients come to me is, well, you're stuck in some way. So we don't need to make it harder to make it work. The opposite is actually usually true. Okay? So that's what I wanted to offer here. And that is, I'm pretty sure that's like a sum up of all the different ways that if you are making things hard or you think you are, to be aware what to do. If you want help, I'm here. My calendar is in the show notes, and we can have a conversation on coaching and how I can help you if you have any identity that you feel is keeping you stuck in a pattern, right? If there's a trigger and it pulls you back into a pattern that you don't like anymore and you are in emotional pain, that is a red flag, or that is the green flag that you're ready to let it go, that you are fully ready to let it go because it served you until it didn't. And now it's just keeping you in so much emotional pain. You're like a prisoner of your own beliefs. Okay. And you're so not alone. I mean, I get it. I know it. That's why I can coach on it. But I hope that this helps you with more awareness of where you can make things easier. And if you think that this is all bullshit, I want to offer you that that's a belief, that you're stuck in that belief. Okay? So that is it from me. My teaching tomorrow is 5 ways you might be choosing struggle without realizing it. If you are, my teachings drop every Thursday. I'm trying to put a calendar together ahead so that you know what's coming. But if you want to go deeper on any of these topics that I teach, like I said, I am moving them into a portal on my website that I'm going to probably sell as a package of all the different webinars I've done. Over time, there are so many, and all these teachings are ending up there too. They're going to live there. But you can also pop in and listen and get coached. Like I offer coaching every week. I'm there. And people show up and they're listening or they're asking questions. You can come and listen on that topic or something else. So that is it for me. I wish you a life of ease and abundance and joy and fun. I said to my coaching client the other day, who is building a business, a coaching business, and I said, how can you make it fun? Choose what's fun and do that. Okay. Now, that might not land for when there's things on your calendar you don't want to do. But we all have things on our calendar that we don't want to do. We can still make it fun. We can make anything fun because fun is a feeling, right? Fun is what creates ease. Okay. And if we run at the vibration of fun and like, I get to do this, we're going to attract more ease into our life. Okay. So yes, I'm at 30 minutes. Not too bad. But thank you so much. I will maybe see you tomorrow for our live teaching, and I will see you next week for another podcast. I am done the 10 of 10, and I'll see you next week. Bye, guys. Thanks for spending time with me today on the You Get to Decide podcast. If you love what you heard, you could follow the show, share it with a friend, or leave a review wherever you listen. The more women we reach, the more women will rise. And if you are ready to go from stuck to unstoppable, go to www.alisongallagher.com to learn all about the first steps to work with me. Come join the movement and see what is possible for you. I'll see you on the inside. But I'll see you next week. Bye, guys.